just a great way for you to get ideas of what other clubs do.
And if you visited from June or July 1 up to now, you're good.
Yeah,
That's right.
Okay.
absolutely.
Yes.
If you've made up
Yes.
somewhere because you missed a
Yeah,
meeting.
made up somewhere, but it's anywhere between July, it's the first 6 months of the year. Visit another club.
Yeah, I'm looking for that. So I think everybody can accomplish that between now and the end of the year. And if not, come to our club. We meet on Tuesdays at lunch. I don't think anybody else meets Tuesdays at lunch, right? The Guilford Club,
Starman?
Weir Jordan House, which is on Edgeworth Street, the Greensboro Women's Club,
Gotcha.
right
Okay,
beside
yeah,
Carruthers
yeah.
and Roth Law Firm.
Yeah, okay.
And we just have one more meeting,
That's what
which
I'm
is
saying.
next Wednesday, and then we're not meeting.
Yeah,
the
we
rest
have,
of the
we
year.
we only have one more as well.
Come to ours, bring a bottle of liquor.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing our holiday, well, we got one more and then our holiday swap,
That'd
yeah.
change it, all right, yeah.
How about you guys? You have, I mean, I know today, but after today, how many meetings do you have?
One more.
We have two more if anybody needs them. Monday afternoon, we have Anthony Bass coming in from Step Up Greensboro. And then the following week, we're doing our holiday thing, but this year it's gonna be wine tasting. So how to effectively pick your wine for your holiday meals.
Wow.
So
Oh,
that might be a good one.
I'll come to that one.
What's that?
Who's doing that for you?
I think Wine Styles.
Great.
So,
Great
And
meeting.
when and
That's
where
nice,
and
that's
what time?
How many more,
So-
Next
meetings
Monday?
do you guys have?
We'll make sure that Uber's on
Two?
everybody's phone and ready to go.
This coming weekend on Christmas.
Yeah, Uber
Okay.
us.
Yeah.
I'll try to come see you guys this Tuesday.
All right. I think we go into president's reports now, right?
Sounds great.
Who wants to start?
I
Brian?
will if you want me to,
Okay.
so I'm right here. So Greensboro Airport, November 14th, we attended the Community Housing Solutions Breakfast. It was really good, saw a lot of people there. November 21st, we had our Sanctuary House, I think we mentioned that. Our Sanctuary House has a bakery, so we were helping them out with their fundraiser there. We raised about $700 to help them out, basically selling cakes for them for the holidays for Thanksgiving. So that went really well. November 20th, we were there to help build with the Designs to Fight Hunger Wrangler cake at the mall. December 1st, we had another leadership board meeting, went real well. We talked about, we're kind of shifting our vision. Our vision focused on engagement for this year because we acknowledged that as a weakness that we had. We started really seeing membership engagement drop, so we focused on that. That has taken off. We've really got the club engaged, and then we're kind of shifting our vision for the second half to focus on membership. So that way, when Walk comes in, hopefully we'll be really running smoothly. So we talked a little bit about that. December 5th, our last club meeting, we had Steve Swatoa from president of the Greensboro Swarm come in and speak. He did a great job. If anybody's interested, he'd love to come to all the Rotary clubs and talk about the Swarm and their impact on the community.
Those are great games, by the way.
They're a lot
You should.
of fun, and I brought it up at the last president's meeting that we were going to be doing a family of Rotary at the Swarm. We picked a date, February the 7th, and if anybody else would like to have their clubs join us, let me know. I'll put it together. Talk to Steve about getting some discounted tickets as well. But that's February the 7th, so just get in touch with me on that. December the 6th, this week we had a busy week. So Wednesday, December the 6th, we had our Family of Rotary event at Triad Stage. We went to see A Beautiful Star. If you haven't seen that, it's an old show that used to play, and it's just a fabulous show. I'd really encourage that. We had 18 members at that event. Yesterday, one of our other charities we work with, the Barnabas Network, they reached out to us because we really haven't figured out a way to really connect with them yet. But they reached out to us. They had a lot of inventory come in. They're like, we don't have the manpower to unpack this, put it together, get it out there to have the community come in. So we had 8 members help out with that, so that was really good. Upcoming stuff this weekend, today and tomorrow, we're going to be ringing the Salvation Army bell at Friendly Shopping Center, and we've got 16 Rotaractors from Northern planning to join us for that as well. So that should hopefully knock out some Gold Club requirements. December 16th, we're going to be ringing the bell again at the Designs to Fight Hunger at the mall, and that's also the Reads Across America date. For any of you clubs that are doing that, we're going to be participating in that. And then finally, as Walt alluded to, we have our holiday gift swap on the 19th. We use that as our holiday party. It's a club meeting, but it's a gift swap, but it's turned kind of into mostly liquor swap. So it's a lot of fun. We have a good time.
It should be.
Yeah. And that's it for us.
Thank you.
All right, Preston. Let's see, our meetings this last month. This week we had Andrea Almani from Patient Navigation. I wasn't at the meeting. Greg, you were there. I think she did a really good job from everything I heard. We had on the 27th, we had our foundation. We have our own foundation, and so we had some our foundation leaders give a presentation to the members about how our foundation functions, what we do, how it relates to the Rotary International Foundation. Went really well. Had a lot of questions that we were able to address with the members. We had on the 20th we had Chris Andokas from Atlantic Webworks doing a piece on digital, your digital presence, and as leaders, what you need to do. You know, why it is appropriate to be on social media as a leader of your company. That was interesting, especially for some of our older members who weren't really buying it, but that was good. On the 13th, we had we instead of having a regular meeting, we had a bowling event, and our club happens to meet right next door to a bowling alley, so we just went over there and had a bowling event, and that was a blast. Our second annual. That we divided the club into 2 teams, very inappropriately named teams. Lisa Hazlitt was involved. Lisa James Hazlitt was involved, so you knew it was going to be a little. And Ashby Cook, they did a great job. We had a blast, and we're going to do a lot more of that, where we take a meeting every other month or so and do something social. We served meals for the Salvation Army, for the Boys and Girls Club, Salvation Army Thanksgiving meal, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Had about 170 kids, I think, that we fed. That was a blast, an absolute blast. Also participated in Designs to Fight Hunger. And we are also, for I don't know how many years we've been doing this, but we're doing the bell ringing for Salvation Army. And this is our tracking spreadsheet, because it runs from December. We do the whole month basically, and we got everything covered. And our kids from Weaver Academy, as always, were our most successful. They were there on Saturday, and they sing. They're obviously quite good, and it's amazing how many more donations are flowing in when those kids are out there.
Is it you standing there ringing a bell?
Yeah, I tend to scare them away. You know, it's they come towards us and then they go away. It's like parting the seas. They just go away from us. So that's it. Good month.
Good deal. Gate City's been busy as well. We did the Wrangler cake in November. The cake food, or we do a canned food drive once a quarter in our club where the members just bring a few cans of food. We also have the bell ringing. We do a 2-week commitment, and this year, fortunately, had it filled in 3 days in our club. So that's a lot. That's a big accomplishment. So now we double up and trying to get more people there with families and try to get the interact folks out there. 3 new applications for membership. It's we kind of had a slip this last quarter. Lost a real good, a long-term member, prior president who was just was overwhelmed with commitments and totally understand how how it happens, and a new member kind of joined and kind of fell off. And that's one of the things about membership we talk about is keeping the members. Make sure we can get all gung ho, but we got to keep them interested for a couple of years, really, before they just get really, I mean, we try to get them all engaged initially, but sometimes if they slip through the cracks, they're gonna fall away just as quick as we got them, so that's important to us. So we've been very fortunate to, and I'll tell you how we got 2 of the applications, but, and I guess I'll just roll right into that. We had a speaker this past week, yesterday, that was Robin Guest, who's a fitness guru, who talked about portions to eat during the holidays, and it was perfect. It was very fitting. But last week, our speaker, Colonel from the Salvation Army, what's
Major
Jones?
Major vet?
Major, yeah, but he was scheduled to speak, and obviously he's pretty busy this time of the year, so I think it slipped his mind. So first time in 11 years we didn't have a speaker. Of course, it's on my shift. I'm freaking out a little bit, but we had our guest where we're starting an Interact Club, which is part of my report this morning, at Kaiser Middle School, is Jed O'Donnell. And if you don't know about him, you need to know about him. He, another way I'll blend into it, so I didn't have a speaker. So we kind of prolonged all of our announcements and everybody tell a joke or something. And finally, I just asked Jed, I said, can you tell a little bit about your successes at Kaiser? Because he is the #1 school in the state. Not the county, not the city, but the state for EOG scores. And he's from England, so he has the accent or whatever. He gets up and speaks for 10 minutes. Second time probably in the history of me being a Rotary, standing ovation. The place the house got brought down. And we had several guests that day. 2 people put in their app. And Jed's putting his app, so don't ask him to be a speaker until we get him. Until we lock him down. But there was a summit guest there, and I think he's got his name, so I think you might be seeing him in the future. Jed O'Donnell, so he is outstanding. Christmas party next Thursday night at our secretary's house. It's a beautiful house, and he's going to do that right. We have our Santa breakfast, our annual we usually have. We've got an average of 60 folks that come every meeting. We'll have about 130 at that meeting with family and kids and everything. We bring the Marine Corps Reserve. They do the Toys for Tots. It's a real treat. Paul Harris Society, our goal was to get 2 this year, and we got our second one at our last meeting. That's about it for us.
Greensboro Club. First of all, I'm going to tell you who our speakers were. It really helps me to hear y'all's speakers because it gives us good ideas, so I love the sharing of that. Larry Zarda, who is a member, this week talked about Greensboro College, which was really fascinating to hear what they're doing. You know, they're right in the middle of town, and I didn't know a whole lot about them, so that was great. Cheryl Stewart did Public Art 101, which was not a good title for what she did. It was fabulous. It was just a great presentation, and she started with some really interesting different art, you know, statues, different kinds of art in the country, and then drilled it down to Greensboro. So that's a really, really good thing. I can get you information if you would like to have her. We had Scott Matthews from the Marine Corps talk about Operation Iraqi Freedom 2, which was good. Had a couple of people come in and talk about HIFU, which is a new treatment for prostate cancer. So another thing, we've been really working hard on our gala. We want to try to freshen it up and make it a little different than the same old, and Claudia came in, and you know, we're just trying to really get into some new ideas and freshen it up, and we're going to do ours this year at Summerfield Farm, but we're just trying to make it different, you know, for a change. So Hugh Jones has been working on new members, and I feel like we're doing really good. I can't really give you numbers at this point. We are very involved with angel flights because we have some people in our club that actually fly children and adults to hospitals, and Lloyd Navarro went on a flight and had an absolute blast. So I think he got real excited about it, and we're going to see if we could maybe get some more funding for that. We had, we've been working on new board members and getting our president-elect, or I know there's another name for it, anyway. So we've been working on that, and then we had our Christmas lunch November 30th, and Nate Alston sang, and he is gonna be at the community Christmas, you know, the music thing where you just bring canned food and you get in. He is fabulous, so I really encourage you to go to that. He just had, you know, a CD that they were playing for him to do his music, and he just captivated us, so he was really, really good. And at that meeting, we do a whole lot with Summit Elementary, and we put something at everybody's place that they could fill out to make a donation to do Christmas gifts. That the guidance counselor and a member of Rotary, Ron Wilson, will go and they'll get gifts for these children, and everybody at that school is on reduced lunch, and we're helping with the backpacks for the weekends and everything. And we raised $3,000, which was just really exciting. And if you want to do something like that to raise money, because we tried this with polio on Polio Day and had a presentation, and we just found out that we get a whole lot more donations if you just check the box, just put it on my invoice. And that's easier than getting somebody to write a check that day. So that was something that we have found. Another thing that I just wanted to mention, our Save the Queen, which you probably all know, went to the very last card, which was just amazing. Yeah, so that was all wonderful, but anyway, the unexpected result of that is it has increased our attendance at lunch. And you know, when people get in the habit of coming, we thought, well, now it's over and we're not gonna start it up until the new year. And we just thought our attendance was gonna, you know, just drop off. Well, it hasn't. And it's because people are in the habit of coming. And so that was sort of an unexpected great consequence of doing that. So I just thought I would mention it. And we're doing our bell ringing at Walmart off Cone Boulevard, and have everybody signed up except for 2 slots, and I hope one of them's tonight, so I hope we're gonna get that one filled. We will. But anyway, the other thing I just wanted to mention was I just continue to be just thrilled with all the support and just everybody pitching in to help, and that was something I didn't really expect, and I just am amazed every single week at all the people that help and pitch in and just, you know, make my job easier, and I can't say enough about my club for doing that.
Well, your program on the 13th, I think, is Real Stories of Homelessness.
Yes.
I thought that was really interesting when I saw that, but I don't remember the blip about, you know, what that program was about.
It is Brian Hahn, H-A-H-N-E, and he's the executive director of Partners Ending Homelessness. And that's next week's meeting. Please come if you want.
He spoke at Crescent a couple of months ago. He's good.
Good.
Oh, another thing that we have coming up, I'm sorry, I don't mean to hog this, but at the international conference, there was a big program on human trafficking, which absolutely blew my mind. Just to know, and how much of it's going on right here in Greensboro. And there was another event for human trafficking about a month or so ago that Pam Cash and I went to, and we are gonna do a program on that. We haven't scheduled it yet, but it turns out that Caroline Holliday, who is a policeman, and that's kind of her specialty within the police force, and she's gonna even be getting more training on it. is gonna do the program, and she and I are in a small group at our church on Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. So when I found out that, she's gonna be our speaker, so I'll let y'all know when that's coming, but it is such a huge problem, even in this area, that it's worth educating our members on it. I'll hush now.
Very important topic, trafficking. Good morning again. East Greensboro. I'll just touch on the highlights of some of the things that we've been doing. I'll go back to November. In early November, one of our members is a quilter. She submitted a quilt. University of Michigan had a competition, national competition for people to submit quilts on Nelson Mandela. Her piece was chosen. It's traveled around the world, and the exhibit opened here. This is the tail end of this annual tour. We co-sponsored the opening both at Delta Art Gallery in Winston-Salem and at Bennett College. And so that was a nice evening event. And we had Andrina Coleman is her name. We had her speak about her piece, and just fabulous work. Additionally, we continued our monthly support of Meals with a Message at St. James Presbyterian. So we go on Sundays and we help serve meals, and that works out very well for us as part of our commitment to Rush. We had Charles Allen stop in, talk about Polio Plus, and that turned out to be a very emotional meeting. I mean, there was a lot of content there that connected or resonated with people in the meeting. And then we had, this is the second time coming, Ethan Lindsay from the Community Foundation came and talked about Community Foundation and what's doing and what type of synergy existed between what we're trying to do, you know, in Rotary and what they're attempting to do in the community. Moving right along here, this past week we had, this is Disease Prevention Month, so we had 2 mental health counselors come in, and for some reason, I think our female members boycotted. I don't know, but so the talk turned into, you know, the issues men have with mental, you know, health issues, and the profiles that we try to maintain. It was all fun. It was good, but very serious conversation. One of the things going back to membership that we realized that we neglect to do is to always invite the speakers, right, to be members and invite them to our other activities. And so we really, you know, after at the end of the meeting, laid hands on them and said, you know, you need to come and, you know, become members. That way you can help us, you know. It's this, let's see, moving right along, we will be at St. James Presbyterian this week again for our December commitment. We're having our club fellowship this month on the 20th, and we do that every year. In past years, we used to do the Dirty Santa thing, but what we decided to do from here on out is to have people bring canned goods so that we can donate them to one of the community hunger efforts.
I haven't tried the liquor swap.
I know. We would have, I don't know what we would do with the children in that case. But we're looking forward to January. We have some things coming up. We're going to do another Be the Match program where we try to identify bone marrow donors in the community, and so that's what's on the plan for January. But the thing something you said that really resonated, and what we realize, we're a morning club, and what we realize is that we often see each other at other events in the community because many of us are involved, deeply involved in other activities. And so we've begun a very having a very candid discussion about where are your priorities. Is Rotary the priority? I see you at 6 or 7 other events. And we really want people, and I say this for myself, to be quite honest, and where does Rotary fit? And sometimes, yes, there are some issues with family commitments, but there are other professional, and community commitments. And I think we need to,